Hey guys, welcome back to Digital Discovered. Appreciate you showing up. Today we're going to talk about Vudoo Gunworks, the V22, 90 degree and 360, the 3-lug 60 degree throw. Had a chance to have two, one in the 360 and one in the 90 for quite a while now. Picked up the 360 right when it showed up because I'm a huge 360 guy. I love 60 degree throws. The Tika that I shoot, Curtis Axiom. Great. Love the 60 degree. So that was my favorite. So the 60 degree, it's been here for a while now, and I want to report back on this. A lot of people, not a bazillion people, but quite a few people are emailing me saying, hey, my 360 is showing up pretty soon. I'm getting really excited, but I'm getting a little worried as well because I keep hearing about light primer strikes, failure to fires, the bullets getting jammed in there and all that. Well, I can tell you that with the 90 degree and the 360, a lot of it has to do with getting everything set up, not so much the rifle. So if you're on the fence on whether you want to get a 90 degree or a 360, honestly, they're both, the ones I ordered, they're both 20-inch MTU contour barrels in the 90 and the 360. I would say the only difference would be the throw. If you are used to a 90 degree throw and that's the kind of center fire you've been shooting, there's really no reason to go over to the 360. This was kind of, in my mind, designed for those 60 degree throw kind of shooters. 3-lug nation style. So we're going to take apart the 360. We're going to take apart the 90, just show you the differences. So what makes the 90 and the V22 and the 360 different? 3 lugs, 60 degree throw, 2 lugs, 1, 2, and I'll show you one other thing that is different. 1 lug, 2 lug, 3 lug. All right, so now that these are flipped over, let me show you the difference besides that. The only difference I saw was on the 360, you have, see if I can get a better picture here. You got 2 holes, and on this one, the 90 degree has 1. So if I put those two together, 90's this one, and 360's that one. Other than that, that's the only differences that I've been able to notice. All right, so some of the differences. Here on the left, we have the 360. This is with the bolt all the way up. You can see there's quite a bit of clearance from here to the scope. On the 90 degree, you can see that it's quite a bit closer. So as you're coming back and forth, that's something to think about. Both work really great. It's just a personal preference. We're gonna go ahead and mount this back into a chassis, talk about specifications, talk about the proper way to get rid of some of the possible issues. I'm gonna put a mag into a chassis here. So when we bolt these into the chassis, the action into the chassis, we wanna make sure that we insert a mag. So there is a little bit of slop in these, which is probably right, but if we want it to be perfectly square in there along with the chassis, we don't want it to be cocked where basically the mag's at an angle a little bit, and that'll help alleviate some of the issues with feeding. Some of the other issues and possible reasons, then some ideas for you guys at home, and I got another video coming out on how to make a Vudoo mag, a 10-round mag into a 12-round mag, because some stages 12 rounds, some stages are even more, but a lot of times the stages are 12 rounds. So it'd be nice not to have to put a +2 on here, and we will go over the ways to do that in another video. But continuing on, being able to set up your rifle to have the least amount of issues. I had a chance to talk with Vudoo, Jason over at Vudoo, and he helped me out a lot. So I had talked to him. I told him I have 3 cases of Ely match, and when I was doing the lot testing, I did notice on some of the lots that I had some failure to fires, basically, or Some people will call it a light primer strike. The primer strike looked fairly good, so I don't know if that's the case. He's gonna send me a 20-pound firing pin spring, so we'll see if that changes it up. He did say that it will be a little bit harder to close the bolt because of the spring. So basically you're looking at an 18-pound spring that it comes with it. I believe it's 18 pounds, and we'll just go 2 pounds heavier, and hopefully that'll alleviate any of those light primer strikes. Both of these have the Trigger Tech diamond in them. They've been a great rifle, shoot extremely well. These are the Ace barrel. They did a really good job of building these. Do I have a favorite? Yes, I do. It's the 60 degree, but does it shoot better? Honestly, I have videos out there, if you haven't seen them, about each rifle, even though that these are both the same length barrel, the same contour barrel, the same manufacturer barrel. This one is going to like a different lot of ammo, probably better than this one would like a different lot of ammo. So what we did was we did some testing, and the 60 degree throw, I figured out that a certain lot of ammo, an Ely match, actually worked really well. Everything that I've been shooting out of these was Lapua Cinerex, and I'm actually switching over to Ely and giving that a try. Another thing that could be an issue is the feed ramps. Sometimes, and this is not 360 and there's only like a 360 issue. This is just sometimes an issue when that, and we talked about it in some other videos, but the angle here on that feed ramp actually needs to be turned a little steeper. So we sand it down and we file it, and we get those bullets to pop up a little more. A lot of times when we load the ammunition, we really need to pay a lot of attention to loading the mags compared to like if you're just loading 9mm and a Glock mag or something like that. These need to be, you kind of want to pay attention. So some people will load these like you would a bullet or a mag on a pistol, where they come from the top, or a 223 or whatever the case is. When you do that, it works fine. You just want to pay attention. You want to release a little bit of the pressure, but you want to put pressure onto it so you know that the rim of the case is going to be in front of the one you just did. When you start loading them weird, where you just start throwing them in here, and I'll show you an example of some of the reasons why we have issues, is it's not going to do it because I'm obviously filming, but we're going to get it to do it here in a minute, hopefully. Okay, so you want that. You want that look right there. You want it to look nice and pointed up in the air. Some of the issues you'll have, and let me see if I can just kind of make this not happen, or make this happen. There you go. It looks like this. The guy or gal gets ready for the stage. They say, load your mag and make ready. They put it in to here, and the bullet is flat. So as the bolt comes across to pick it up, it will usually grab it, but it sends it and pushes it right into the bottom of the barrel and won't let it feed up. So on a Vudoo, it's basically picking it up and placing it all the way across. There is no feed ramps. So when you end up with a bullet that is flat, it either won't pick it up or it'll send it right to the bottom of the flat portion of the chamber. Not into the chamber, but basically hitting the barrel. So if you can pay attention to that before you get ready for the match. Another thing too is, load this magazine up. There's things that you're looking for before you start the stage or while you're loading the mags. And if it doesn't look like this, you will probably have an issue. All right, so there's 10 in there. And I'm hoping you can see this, but you can see these bullets basically are staggered, left, right. So they're in there like this, basically, like that. If you got a couple that are like this and a couple that are like that, you may end up with feeding issues. But when you can look into the hole of that and see that each one, every other one is kind of stair-stepped, you will know that you're probably going to be okay. So those are some of the issues, or some of the things to look for with the Vudoo. We'll want to tighten the action screws to 65 is the recommended, unless you have some crazy like wood stock where it might crush it. But we basically have an MPA. This is a matrix chassis. We got a homegrown barricade slash bag rider. And let's go ahead and mount this up. So we got the TriggerTech Diamond 2-stage, and we will go ahead and put this in here and mount it up. Let me get it close, and then I'll put it back on camera. All right, so we got a long action screw and a short. We got the mag in. We're just gonna go ahead and just get it in there so it's barely sitting there. Just basically getting them started. All right, so now we're basically going to check that the whole action is centered and kind of wiggling around. Let me go ahead and loosen this a little bit to magnify what you guys are seeing. But basically, there's a little bit of play in here. So we want to go ahead and make sure that the magazine is seated now. It goes into the action. And now we want to basically let that rifle hit on the block against the chassis. And then we will do this. We'll go to the front first. Get this thing tied down. Just kind of tighten them a little bit without giving it the poundage it needs. So we're gonna go ahead and torque it down now and do this one. And we'll confirm it again, kind of just chase anything that came out. All right, we got it to 65 pounds. We're gonna do the front first. We're good. We'll just double check it again, make sure it's still set. All right, so now we're good. Now that we know that since it's been installed, we have the magazine in. We know that it's centered in the chassis, and we shouldn't have any issues with feeding or mags not falling out. So we should be good. We don't have any of that. Basically, that mag in there kind of torqued one way or the other, where it's basically you're having issues getting it in, and then also you probably have issues with it feeding because we got to get that little square, this square feed section into here. So this is gonna look like that. Let me get this ammo out of here. All right, so you're gonna see without a chassis, this is basically what's taking place. And if you're not paying attention or you don't have the magazine in, depending on the slop of the chassis, you may be able to make it where this is canted so much that when you go to put it in, it's off a little bit compared to that side. So you're looking at something that's not straight. It needs to be in line so it can drop free. Hopefully that helps. And if you get a chance, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. And if you're a Vudoo shooter or thinking about getting into the Vudoo great rifles, But I got a video coming out about making a 10-round magazine, 12 rounds. Hope you guys enjoy. See you on the next one. Bye. The Tikka that I shoot, the Courteous Axiom. What the hell do you say?